Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Macedonio, and I'm shared with superstar Letitia Hanke. One of the many things that she's a superstar with is her ability to sponsor members in BNI. In 2020 alone, she sponsored 2 business people into BNI. In total, she sponsored 21 people, 21 businesses being impacted by BNI. Letitia, this clearly puts you in the top 1% of the members of this region and being able to sponsor members. So would you mind sharing with our audience, like, how do you do it?
It's so funny. It's not really a big secret. I just, ask. It takes me back to thinking about, it's been almost 9 years that I've been in BNI. And the gentleman who he contacted me to come visit the one of the chapters, almost 9 years ago. He asked me for almost a year and a half. I mean, I made every excuse. Everyone knows this. I made every excuse. They were the truth, but I made every excuse to not come to a meeting. I'm just like, oh, I got to take my son to school, and so it was so funny because this one day he knew that the kids were off school on this Friday. Our BNI meeting was on Friday mornings. So he knew the kids were off school. So on Thursday, he says, "Hey, Letitia, your son doesn't have school tomorrow, right?" I'm like, "No." And he said, "Great. How about you come visit the BNI chapter?" I'm like, "Okay, fine." And I went, and I literally haven't left since. I mean, the day I went there, it just was like, whoa, I didn't realize it. And BNI has personally, for me, changed my life in so many different ways. Besides my business growth has been tremendous, but it also, all the coaching and the training that I've had, I've been able to make more free time, and it allowed me to start my nonprofit. So like all the things that I've been really wanting to do, I've been able to do because of BNI. So it's easier for me, especially, to ask someone to come and visit because I know personally that it's life-changing. And so it makes it that much easier for me now to send a text message or an email or a phone call or a letter in BNI's case, and invite someone to come and just see the group. I never invite them to join. I just say, "Hey, come check this out." I tell them my story, and then usually they say, "Yes, I'll come and visit it." So that's really the secret.
So you're not afraid of people say no, because that's what you did.
That's what I did for a year and a half.
For a year and a half. You said no. Okay,
I
well,
said
great.
no. I
So,
wasn't ready. I wasn't ready at the time, and I didn't really need it, I guess I would say, at that time. But he didn't stop asking just because of that. He didn't know what my needs were.
mhm.
So same with the people that I invite. I don't know if they're in need of more business or whatever the case. The reasons that they join, I don't know that. So I just decide to just not make that judgment for them, and I just ask. So.
And, Letitia's also being modest when she said it was life changing. She's been successful. She has a foundation. She's been featured on Mike Rowe's Return the Favor this year. She's been featured on Kelly Clarkson's show. She won the Contractor of the Year, the Roofing Contractor of the Year, a national award for her industry. So she's had a little bit of success, but she's being modest. So let's talk about the people that you did sponsor, the 21 people. And I'm sure some of them have similar experiences you. Is there any one that stands out? You say, man, that one there, I made a difference.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because it was only a couple of days ago that I got a text message from him. But I know there's the one, but I do just want to mention one more thing that was life changing for me. One of the members that I sponsored, and this was about 7 years ago. He was a solar contractor, and I was his referral partner. And I remember during the winter season, solar tends to slow down. It's raining. You can't really do solar in the winter. But I was still giving him referrals to meet with people to schedule for spring. And I remember we were doing a one-to-one one day, and he came over to me, and his daughter is disabled. And he said to me through tears that if it wasn't for me giving him referrals and selling jobs through the winter, he wouldn't have been able to put food on the table for his daughter. So emotionally, that's the one that sticks out for me, the most. Just the simplicity of giving someone a referral, and the fact that that could change someone's life to put food on the table was huge for me. But just a couple of days ago, I sponsored a plumber. I knew this plumber for many years. He had come to a BNI Visitors Day at one point, and I saw him there. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, welcome." And then, a couple months or so later, I saw him again at like a coffee shop, and I'm like, oh, whatever happened to BNI? And he said, oh, I never heard from the person that had invited him. So I said, well, what did you think about BNI? He said, it seems cool. And then I started telling him about my story, and I invited him to come back to my chapter. And that day he decided to join the second time that he came. So he was like a one-man shop. It was just him. He had taken over from his dad for many years. And over the years, through BNI, through all the training and relationships that he built, he hired 2 employees. So he ended up having 2 employees. And then in the last year, he actually expanded his business down towards the Fresno area. So he has his business up here, and he bought a house down there and also started his company down there in that area as well. And so now he's expanded his business, has employees, bought a house, and he just wrote an article. There was an article on him a couple of days ago, and he sent it to me, and he accredited BNI for all those blessings in his life. And then he called to thank me for inviting him. So it's great that you would ask that question, because that's a huge thing for him. He's got kids that he's also taken care of and has custody of. So it felt really good to get that phone call and to know that he's been able to make all those changes in his life. So.
Yeah, Letitia, if you don't know it already, as a rock star 1%er, you're creating a legacy, because each of those people is impacting other people, and it's impacting their family, their staff, and people in the network. So congratulations. And I hope I don't embarrass you by saying there was one other accomplishment that Letitia achieved this year. She got engaged.
And married.
Oh, you did. Congratulations. I didn't know that part.
Yes, we just did. We just did it right at Thanksgiving. We had a beautiful family. Our just us and our 3 kids went out to this beautiful, beautiful forest and had a beautiful wedding together. So yes.
So glad to hear that, Letitia.
Yes.
So proud of you. Thank you for doing this interview with me. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.